Hey, this is Drew from Moon Audio. Welcome back to Audiophile Tech Tips. So this week, I pondered upon you, headphones or speakers. We got a lot of cool examples here, different headphones and speakers. It's a tough decision. It really is, and it really comes down to so many different things. It isn't always about sound quality. Not that you can't get remarkable sound quality from either situation, but you got to think about the ergonomics, the situation, how they're going to be used, when they can be used, etc. Right? So it's not just about which sounds better. Look, we all know speakers are going to give you an incredible presentation. Everything's going to be out in front of you. You're going to see the piano on the left, drummer in the middle, singers, wherever they're standing on the stage based on the recordings. You're going to get a wonderful presentation from speakers. You're also going to get some really good authority in terms of grit, punch, bottom end, obviously depending on your speakers, whether they're bookshelves or big floor standers, right? Well, sometimes this isn't going to work. Look, I'm from New York City originally. I lived in an apartment. Anytime I turned on my speakers, and this is way before headphones got really popular, and there really weren't any good headphones back in the 80s, honestly. I couldn't turn my speakers up, right? The neighbors would be pounding on the walls and whatnot. So it's not just about the sound, it's about the ergonomics. So in some situations, you may want to go with a headphone system. And let me tell you something. You can spend, I'm just going to give a rough number, a third of a price on a really good headphone system than you have to do on a speaker system. Speakers are much more expensive most of the time than headphones. You got to add amplifiers, preamps, all kinds of stuff, right? Whereas with a headphone system, you need a couple of things: a headphone amp, a source, and a headphone, honestly. But here are some of the pros and cons. So with speakers, like I said, you get this amazing presentation. You get great detail, great energy. The room can be lively to add to the mix of what the speakers are doing based on geometries. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So you got to think about room sizes. Obviously, I can't put some of these big floor standers in a really small space that you're using maybe for your home office. Sometimes with a home office, headphones may not be the great idea either. You may want to go with a small pair of desktop speakers. Let's say you're on the phone all the time, right? If you've got headphones on every time the phone rings, you've got to take the headphones off and you got to answer the call. So sometimes a powered speaker or maybe a small pair of bookshelves is the right answer. I use a mix of both at my desk, headphones and small monitors, because some days the phone rings like crazy, some days it doesn't. Headphones can give you something that speakers sometimes really can't give you: an incredible attention to detail, right? I have a Patricia Barber album that was recorded in a jazz club, and I swear to God, in one of the recordings, I can hear a waitress behind me picking up glasses off of a table. I never heard that before with speakers. And I'd use that album way back when Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, if you've been out to that show, when that first started, that was one of my go-to CDs for the speaker rooms I used to do. And this is before headphones got really popular and we did headphone gear rooms at all of these big audio shows. When I really got into headphones and I listened to that track, I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, I've never heard this from a pair of speakers. So the attention to detail, the personal sense that you're sort of in with the music can be really remarkable with headphones. At the same time, the music is around your head. It's not out in front of you. So trying to get that sound stage out in front of you in that presentation like you can get with speakers, you're not going to get with headphones. Some of them can do a really good job of projecting a 3D imitation, if you will, of a good sound stage, but you're never going to get that really big field that a pair of speakers are going to give for you. I love both. At the beginning, I started as a loudspeaker designer. I built all kinds of speakers in college. I started out in acoustical engineering. I wanted to start a loudspeaker manufacturing business. I love speakers. They are my favorite, but now I love headphones too. So there's no reason why I can't do both. A really good headphone system, maybe in the bedroom where you can't have, you're limited on space and you can't have a lot of gear in there, but you can lay down and really get into listening to the attention to detail. And then if you've got a big family room that you can deal with a pair of big floor standard speakers, get them too. I mean, there is really no right or wrong to either situation. You can do wonderful things with each, but there's always going to be trade-offs, right? So when customers call and ask me, should I go with speakers, should I go with headphones? I don't just say, one is better than the other. You got to get down to the nitty-gritty and think about the situation in which you're going to have all this stuff set up in. Sometimes certain things just don't make sense, like that apartment I lived in New York. Speakers just didn't make sense. So after a time, I ended up going to headphones, even though back then they didn't have great headphones. Anyway, so please, feel free to drop some questions below. Let us know about your situation. Shoot us an email. Let us know your ergonomics. Think about the ergonomics. Think about the cost, all that stuff. And we'll be happy to help you in understanding whether speakers or headphones will be the right match for your situation. So I hope to see you next Tuesday with another Audiophile Tech Tips. Make sure to subscribe before and make sure to leave your questions. See you soon.